This is the Westborough Affordable Housing Trust meeting of Friday, October 6th at 9 a.m. And this is a remote meeting. And if you could, Al, if you want to read and then take it from here.
Sure. So pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, this meeting will be conducted by remote means in accordance with applicable law. Members of the public may access the meeting as posted in the agenda. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time by technological means. In the event that we were unable to do so for reasons of economic hardship and despite best efforts, we will post an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of the proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. Additionally, the meeting may be broadcast live in real time by Westborough TV, by Verizon Channel 28 or Charter Channel 192, via Westborough TV's online platforms at westboroughTV.org and youtube.com/WestboroughTV. This meeting is being recorded by Westborough TV.
Okay, thank you. Just before I turn it over, as I think I sent out when requesting your availability for this meeting, the select board has asked us to provide our recommendation regarding property, affordable housing property. It's a condo at 3 Stagecoach Circle, and that's right off of Park Avenue, where the old Friendlies used to be. There's 4 triplexes that are there, a total of 12 units. 3 of them are affordable. The owner has passed away, and the daughter is looking to sell that property. So that's basically where we are in select board because of our ability, or rather the select board's ability of rights of first refusal, has asked us to chime in. So Alan, you want to take it?
Sure. So in the packet that everybody received, hopefully had a chance to look through, you'll see that the property at 3 Stagecoach Circle, it's part of a condominium unit. It's technically unit number 11 of that condo association. It's a perpetual or in perpetuity affordable unit. The assessed value for the most recent assessment is $232,703. That reflects the affordable value of the building in the town's eyes. The town did receive, and the seller has received notice from the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, or EOHLC as it's now known, formerly DHCD, that the maximum sale price allowed based on the deed restriction and the need for this unit to be affordable at 80% of AMI will be $228,800. There is a 2% sales fee that goes to whatever agent that EOHLC uses to help sell the unit. And so the net to the seller will be $224,224. An eligible buyer has to be at 80% AMI or less and meet the asset limits. And there are 3 resale options in a prioritized order in the deed restriction. There's a 90-day period from the conveyance notice, which is the date that the property owner notified DHCD of their intent to sell. And that can be extended by an additional 60 days. HLC can do that. So within those time periods, first priority goes to an eligible person or purchaser, which is a household that meets the requirements. Second would be the town of Westborough, and it's known as a right of first refusal, but it can be conditional. And then the third, which would be an ineligible person's purchaser, someone who's above the income limit or above the asset limit. There's a preference stated that it be households at or below 120% AMI, so it would be a moderate income household. It's important to note that even if it's an ineligible purchaser, the deed restriction remains in effect. So the unit will sell for no more than the maximum price set by the state. And it will remain affordable. And when whoever buys it, that ineligible person, after they bought it, in the future when they go to sell, they still have to go through the same affordable process, and you'll still have the same priority of who gets to buy the unit. So we, as the select board, has asked for our advice, and we are waiting to hear back on town council on a couple of things. But the three options we have are to recommend the town not purchase the property, which means the state will market the property as the monitoring agent. If they can't find a qualified purchaser to sign a P&S within the 90-day period, or if they extend that period, the home may be sold to an unqualified purchaser or an ineligible person, as it's known. Preference to households between 80 and 120% AMI. As I mentioned, the affordable pricing restrictions remain in place in perpetuity, but it does mean that the home would not be accessible to low-income household until the next resale. Second option, or option B, is we can recommend the town purchase the property. This is the one type of property a municipality can purchase without having to go to town meeting. So if we recommended it, the select board could take a vote and purchase the property. We're investigating whether or not the trust can make the purchase, given that we're part of the town and agent of the town, or if the select board must make the purchase and then transfer the property or convey the property to the trust if we wanted it. That recommendation would mean that the state would not market the property to affordable households, but that once we own the property, we would either, as a trust, hold on to it and then market it as a rental unit, or we would turn around and sell it and conduct our own lottery for the property rather than having HLC do it. Option C is we can recommend the town purchase the property conditionally. The deed restriction allows the town to purchase the property if a qualified buyer cannot purchase the property within the defined periods. The same purchase and rules and issues exist as I previously mentioned. Noting that if the town purchased the property, if the trust gets the property because the town purchases it, or we're able to purchase it directly as an agent of the town, whether it's direct or conditional, we can hold the property as an asset. We can place the unit for resale in accordance with the deed restrictions, which gives us more time to find the qualified purchaser, or we can offer the property as an affordable housing rental unit. And so the decision, what we would make today is we would select a recommendation for the select board. And if the recommendation is B or C, where there's a potential purchase involved, we would look to appropriate the funds for the acquisition now so that we can say we have the funds encumbered. It doesn't mean we're authorizing anyone to sign to actually, to sign a P&S. We'd vote on that later once we had the full P&S and the closing documents to review. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, why don't we open it up for discussion and questions?
My sense is option 3 is the most attractive from my perspective. I mean, this is a 1,700 plus square foot unit, which, on the open market's going to sell for, I don't know, $500,000, $400,000 to $600,000. So I got to believe that it'll sell in 90 days, but if it doesn't, we can easily resell it or do whatever we want with it. I didn't catch whether it was 2 or 3 bedrooms. Excuse me? I didn't catch whether it's 2 or 3 bedrooms, but my guess is it's 3.
Hank, we're talking about, you said option 2.
I said option 3.
Option
or 3, which is
that's the conditional purchase. I mean, that's the one where the town backstops the purchase. If the state is not able to market it, then the town picks it up and we take care of it.
Okay, which is, just for terminology, that was option C. We have
option C. Okay.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Okay.
Again, I didn't catch whether it was 2 or 3 bedrooms. My guess is it's 3 bedrooms because of the size. I mean, the assessor documentation doesn't list how many bedrooms. I mean, it's in an age restricted community.
It
but
is
this,
age restricted, yes. So
no,
it's
this unit's not age restricted, Ed. The master deed says that 20% of the units are not age restricted. DHCD does not allow you to age restrict for these units. I don't think it's in the, I think it's in the comprehensive permit, but I didn't read all the documentation. So I do not believe it's age restricted. Though it's in an age restricted condo association.
correct. I know that's age restricted. I'm not.
Well, there's a DHCD ruling. That's the one that triggered the Chauncey Lake negotiation, that they're not allowed to age restrict. And this property was built after that ruling was issued. And when I read the master condo doc, it said that there was a 20% set aside that are not age restricted. I didn't try to go through all the gory details, but we may need to get the attorney to double check that. But I'm pretty sure it's not age restricted.
Okay.
Okay. And any thoughts?
Well, yeah. Why don't we let Ken, your thoughts?
I totally concur with Hank. Option 3 is the best option for us right now.
Okay.
Alan, you want to
I
chime in your thoughts?
I think option C is the best option. It allows the property, it puts the burden of marketing it with HLC where it belongs, since they're the monitoring agent for this property. And, but if they're unable to, then we can take it over and then, incur the cost of running a, subsequent lottery for the property.
Right. I agree that option C is good. I think they should be able to sell it. I do know the person who lives next door at number 4. It's Bob Washburn, I think he's on COA, but I've been working with him on the senior needs analysis. So he was asking me a lot of questions about how does this all work, which I'll talk to you later about, Alan.
Okay.
The process that it goes through, because I think the condo association's interested in finding a buyer, maybe among their network that would, people they may know, just because it is a small little neighborhood there. It's 12 units. So I think C is the right way to go. It does give the town, as I think in terms of Hank, backstop, to letting this go on to a, what we'll call an ineligible buyer, which would then go on to, and I assume then it would go on to a market rate or bidding, whatever the agent can get.
No, this unit will not go market rate.
It'll never go market rate.
Right. But
Okay.
it means that an ineligible buyer gets to buy it at the affordable rate.
Right.
And then they're still bound by the restrictions. So when they move out and resell, but so the challenge is, right, if the town, if HLC doesn't find a buyer and the town doesn't, or we don't take possession to then find a buyer who's eligible, an ineligible purchaser will buy it.
Right.
They're not necessarily in need of affordable housing. They pay the affordable price. When they go to sell it, they have to sell it at the affordable price. So
Right.
there's no windfall for them.
No. But if somebody's downsizing, if it's somebody that, is not normally eligible,
right.
They could buy it just to say, hey, I just want a place to live out and, downsize, and it's a nice little community. So,
But it does mean that until that person then resells the property in the future, it's unavailable to an eligible household, right?
understand. Right now on our SHI, we have 2 units noted. Although, according to my friend Bob, he says there are 3. And from the assessor records at the, just the assessed value, it looks like it's number 3, number 6,
so
number 9.
that's not in the scope of the agenda.
I know.
But,
Just letting people know.
so that'll get corrected, hopefully. Jenny will send that information back to the state.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or points? It seems we're in agreement. Do you want to make a motion, Alan?
Sure, I will read the motion unless someone else wants to. I move to recommend to the select board that the town exercise its purchase option for the property at 3 Stagecoach Circle, Unit 11, Assessor ID number 27-59-11, per paragraph 4E of the Local Initiative Program Affordable Housing Deed Rider dated September 15th, 2015, and recorded in book 54296 on page 305 by the Worcester Registry of Deeds, provided the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, EOHLC, formerly the Department of Housing and Community Development, DHCD, as monitoring agent, is unable to locate and select an eligible purchaser that enters into a purchase and sale agreement within the 90 days of EOHLC's receipt of the conveyance notice or during any authorized extension period.
Second.
Okay. Why don't you just take a roll call, Alan, on that?
Okay, Hank,
Roush, yes.
Ken,
Dane, yes.
Salzman, yes.
okay, and Edinburgh, yes. So it passes 4-0 with 4 present.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And the second, wait.
Go ahead.
Then the second motion I'll make is to appropriate the funds. So that I move to appropriate $228,800 and any related fees and expenses necessary to purchase the property at 3 Stagecoach Circle, Unit 11, Assessor ID number 27-59-11, pursuant to the Local Initiative Program Affordable Housing Deed Rider dated September 15th, 2015, and recorded in book 54296 on page 305 by the Worcester Registry of Deeds.
Okay. So basically what that would do is that would encumber that amount of money on the, from the trust to be held or put aside, if you will, if it came down to the point where we decided to buy the property per the previous motion.
Yeah, I've got a second.
Okay.
And then I've got a question.
Sure, go ahead.
The question is, given that we've got that we've bought 6 Beach, and we, are we now at the point where we have to get select board approval to encumber the money because of the asset restriction we have? I can't remember the details.
No, actually, the asset, we are not at that point yet.
Okay, that's great. Just a technicality.
Yep. Good point. Other questions or discussion? Seeing none. Alan, you want to read a roll?
Sure, Ken,
Salzman, yes.
Hank,
Roush, yes.
Ed,
Bain, yes.
excellent. Motion, Edinburgh, yes. Motion passes 4-0 with 4 present.
Okay. So,
Okay.
I think.
Hey, just one more question.
Sure.
It seems to me somebody at some point in the town ought to notify the board of trustees of the condo association of what action we're taking. My guess is you don't want to do that till after the selectmen vote, and they're probably the ones who ought to do the notification, just so that we keep transparent and we make sure the condo association, who does have an interest in what happens to the unit, It's not a legal interest, but it's a viable interest that they're just aware of what's happening and have the opportunity to comment, do whatever. And if we're going to be the purchaser, because if the selectmen vote and it's agreed that we'll be the purchaser, it's probably us who ought to do the notification. I don't know. It's up, you guys can figure that out, but just ought to notify.
Right.
Yep.
This will be presented on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. That's why we had this
Yep.
emergency meeting to the select board. And there, I assume, Alan, there can be a discussion as far as that, the logistics of notification.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this would all happen through EOHLC
Right.
and in coordination with the team there. So.
Yeah, because they're really the, if you will, the conduit and the primary
Right.
Conveyor
Yeah.
of information, but we can issue a statement, if you will, to them, and I'm sure they'll be happy to notify, the tenants or the owners.
Other thing we ought to consider is at some point, either on the town website or on our website, probably our website, we ought to just put a blurb up that it's available to start being active and visible as a conveyor of affordable units.
So I've had communications with the coordinator for the LIP program for Westborough from EOHLC. Once the select board makes its vote, they will release the marketing page and the marketing materials for the property. And we'll get a copy of that so we can post and publicize.
Very good. Thank you.
And in addition to getting it on our website, we can have the town do it on social media. I suggest we also forward it to our delegation and have them post it on their social media as well.
Absolutely. Great idea.
And let people know.
When you said our association.
Pardon?
I mean, I didn't understand that last group.
Oh, our delegation. So like Senator,
right. Okay.
Representative Kane.
I thought you said association. Okay,
No,
yes.
delegation.
Our reps, our state representatives and senator, et cetera.
And then, we'll forward it to Youth and Family Services, to the Council on Aging.
Sure.
We could print it and post it at the library, because for someone who qualifies, this could be a good downsizing unit, as well as a family unit. Okay.
Alan, I assume DOHEC will take care of ensuring that the unit's marketable, i.e. it doesn't need repairs or anything to get it on the market? Yeah, good, thank you.
Yep. They handle all of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
they have to do inspections, et cetera.
Yeah.
All right, as far as official notification of the select board, there should be a letter or a email at minimum, notifying them of what our recommendation is.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do that. I'll do it as soon as we're off.
All right, and then,
It'll get added to the packet of information that goes out today to the select board.
okay, that's fine. You can do it just as secretary. I don't need to, it doesn't need to go from me. Obviously, you'll copy the trustees. All right, any other issues just on this topic? This is the only thing we need to discuss. Okay.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, roll call. Alan?
I'll second it. Hank,
Roush, yes?
Ben,
Bain, yes.
Salzman, yes.
thank you. And Edinburgh, yes.
And thank you, Westborough TV.
Thank you very
Okay,
much, everyone.
We are adjourned. Thank you. Can you hold on for a second?